you're honestly going to run your business into doom, and eventually you're going to have to lock your business down. What's up, beautiful people? I am the Quaint Boss, and this is the Quaint Pursuit. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to price your products. Whether you make the products yourself or you buy them and resell. I have actually made a video of this nature in the past, and it was just about how to price handmade products. I guess the part where you all got a bit confused was overheads, and I can totally understand that because I got confused as well. So this video is like an updated version just to kind of get down into the nitty-gritty of pricing your products. What I'm going to do is use 3 examples, and hopefully that will give you some clarity on how to price your specific product. So the examples will be 1 for a food item, 2 for a handmade item, and 3 for an item that you purchase and resell as your own. So the formula that I work with, that I received from my mother, who is an accountant and financial expert, so I definitely trust her expertise, is raw materials or ingredients plus labor plus expenses plus profit, and that gives you the item price. Now this is in opposition to a lot of videos that I have seen on YouTube where they suggest a pricing strategy where you basically add your expenses and add your labor, add your raw material, multiply that by 2, and then multiply by 2 again. So when you multiply by 2 the first time, that gives you the wholesale price, and when you multiply by 2 the second time, that gives you the retail price. Now, I tested this with my specific products because I make bags and clothing, and the prices I got were a bit too much. So I was thinking, I don't know if I want to use this pricing formula. I prefer to stick to the scientific, mathematical one that my mother has given to me. So I'm going to share that with you guys today in detail, and I'm going to break it down with these 3 examples. So if you sell sweet potato puddings, then you will have a certain amount of ingredients that you use for each pudding. You will need a tin to bake the pudding in, and you will also need a container to serve the slices of pudding to people in, unless you sell the puddings whole. So the price that we're going to get for this, if you sell by the slice, is going to be divided by the amount of slices that you slice that pudding into, or if you sell it whole, then that would be the price for that pudding itself. Let's say, for example, the raw materials or the ingredients come up to a total of $1,000. Let's say the labor comes up to a total of $800 because you take 2 hours to make the pudding and you charge $400 per hour for your labor. And then let's say the expenses in total come up to $650. And then you would add a profit percentage. You could do this based on your industry. For the food industry, it's 20%, so you'll add 20%. So what you're gonna do is add all of those figures, and then you're going to say 20% of that and add that to the figure that you got before, and that will give you the price for that pudding. Let's say you divide it by 12 slices. The figure divided by 12 will be the price for each slice of pudding. You get the drift? So 2 things I want to address is 1, labor cost, and 2, expenses. So expenses can also be looked at as overheads. Overhead rates would basically be calculated based on adding up all the expenses that you have to incur throughout 1 month or 1 year in your business, and then dividing that by the amount of products that you plan to make and sell. So in this case, let's say I pay, as a food business owner, I pay $3,000 every single month on gas. And let's say I pay $500 every single month on delivery or transportation to get these items to my home. If I plan to sell 20 puddings in total for the month, I would divide that total by 20, and that value would give me my overhead rate for each pudding that I am baking. For labor, you can do this based on how much you want to earn per hour, Or you could always do your research to check to see how much people in that industry make per hour. You could research, like on Google, how much do bakers or cooks make on an hourly basis, or what's the hourly rate or hourly salary for cooks or bakers. Once you find that information, you can use that with regards to your labor and multiply it by how much ever hours that you take to cook whatever item or to bake whatever item. So if you're a food business owner and you find this helpful and it worked for you, leave a comment down below so that people who are watching this video in the future will see and know that it's something proven. And if you're liking this video so far, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for weekly content for makers and entrepreneurs. So let's get into pricing handmade products. If you are making a bikini, and to make that bikini, you need 2 yards of spandex and you need 1 yard of elastic. Let's say that comes up to a total of $600. Then let's say that your hourly rate is $1,000 and you take 4 hours to make this item. You would multiply 4 by 1,000 and that gives you $4,000 for your labor rate. Now we're gonna go to expenses. Let's say your expenses is basically just electricity. Let's say that on a monthly basis, your electricity bill comes up to $3,000. And let's say that every single month, you intend to make at least 10 of these swimsuits that we're talking about, right? What you're gonna do is to divide 3,000 by 10, and now you have an overhead rate of $30 for each swimsuit that you create. You're gonna add all of those values and then you're going to calculate a percentage profit of that. So if your percentage profit that you're working with is 30%, then you would basically say 30% of that value, and then you're going to add that to the value that you had before, and that gives you the price of that item. In order to find the percentage profit or profit percentage for your industry, just do some research and see what the typical percentage is. I believe that for the fashion industry, it is somewhere between 30% and 55%. High-end fashion would be more of the 55%, but otherwise, if you're just making like an average product, then you would probably want to stay closer to like 30% or 35%, because you don't want your prices to be too high to the point where people are not willing to purchase it. And on that note, I just want to let you guys know that once you have honestly calculated the price of your product, don't be afraid to charge how much your product is worth. Make sure that people can see the value of your product, because if they can see the value of your product, then they will not argue your price. There are some people who are just cheap and they won't be able to afford your products, and that's okay. And then there are other people who will not hesitate to pay you the amount that you are asking for. So by no means am I saying that you should ever be afraid to ask whatever price that your products are worth, but I'm also not telling you to overcharge for a product that's not necessarily worth it. With regards to things like threads, those are really negligible, I would say. Like a spool of thread in Jamaica costs like $220. I usually just add like $2 to my raw material cost, because it's a very small amount of thread that you use on each item, and you could have one spool of thread lasting you for months. So I don't really put a big value on thread that much. So that's just a tip I have for you if you are a handmade business owner. And if you found that tip helpful and it works for you, leave a comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. Now let's talk about the people who actually purchase items and resell. For you, the formula is going to be a bit different. So what you're going to do instead is to say cost of the product plus packaging plus expenses plus profit percentage equals the item price. So let's say, for example, you are selling a pair of jeans, and those jeans cost $30 for you to purchase from the wholesaler that you are using. Then let's say the packaging is about $3. Let's say the expenses to clear it from the shipping company is about $5. Right? And let's say that you are using a profit percentage of 30%. When we add all of that together, this product or these jeans would basically resell for about $49. But I'm the type of person who just likes to balance off things. So instead of saying $49, I would just say that the product costs $50. That's how you would calculate your resale item. And it's very important to calculate your prices because you want to make sure that you are making up for the money that you are spending and putting into the business, and you want to make sure that you are making a profit. If you're not making a profit and you're just selling yourself short, you're honestly going to run your business into doom, and eventually you're going to have to lock your business down. So you have to be willing to charge the right prices, and keyword right prices, and this is where this formula comes in handy. So just to recap, the formula is raw materials plus labor plus expenses plus profit equals item price. And if you're reselling an item, then it would be the cost of the product plus expenses plus packaging plus profit percentage, and that gives you the item price. And when I say packaging is not just for people who are reselling. If you are a handmade business owner, then you also need to consider how much your packaging will cost. So you can add that into the raw materials. If you know that you're packaging your products in a box that costs $5, then you can put that into your raw materials. By the way, if you want to learn how to make your own box to package your products, then watch this video where I teach you 2 ways that you can make boxes to package your products. It's gonna be in the cards up top, and it's also gonna be in the description box down below. But that's it for this video, guys. I really hope that you found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you're still watching right now, then leave some money bag emojis in the description box down below. I love you guys so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos for makers and entrepreneurs alike, whether it is that you're making your own clothes for your family or friends or yourself, or you're making handmade items, or you are buying and reselling. I have everything here that you need to know about running your own business. Alright, so subscribe for weekly videos, click the bell icon so that whenever I post, you will be notified. Thank you so much once more, and I'm sending light and love and blessings your way, and I'll see you in the next one. Bless.